Big bite. It's good.
Hey there everybody, hope everybody's doing well. So this is one I saw on Facebook with one of my friends. I thought it was interesting, and then my sister's like, hey, did you see this? So I was like, yeah, I did. I was like, it sounded pretty good and interesting. Again, it's using the Jiffy. I'm not a big fan of it plain, but with all that's going in it, I was just like, okay, it might elevate it and change it up enough that it's going to be alright, because it's a sweeter cornbread, and I'm not the biggest fan of sweet cornbread. I'm going to eat it if it's there. I'm not going to be like, oh no. I'm going to be like, okay, eat it and be like, well, it's not my favorite, but I still eat it. Because I'm a pig. So, but what's going to go into it, we'll go over through it. So, it's going to be a stick of butter melted, 3 large Vidalia onions, the 3 little Jiffy mixes, 3 eggs beaten, a cup of milk, cup of sour cream, cup and a half of shredded cheese, and like a 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So that's what's going to be going into it. Now it did say on the recipe, it said 8-ounce cornbread mixes, and I looked everywhere and I couldn't find 8-ounce. I found the 8.5, which is Jiffy, and then I found one that was 7, I think. But I never did find one that was 8-ounce. So I guess I could have got one of the 7s and 2 of these. So I had 2 8.5s and a 7. Take the 1 at 0.5 away from each to give to the 7. You could have an 8, 8, and 8. I guess I could have done that, but I just went with 3 of the Jiffies. But it says to put the butter in and put the onions in. Cook it for 10 minutes. Then after that 10 minutes, you'll take it out and put the Jiffy mix over it. And what's going in it's your cornbread, your egg, milk, sour cream, cheese, and the salt. They'll go all in that mix. Pour on top of it. Bake it for additional 30 minutes, or it says until your toothpick comes out clean. So that's the plan. That's what we'll get to working with, and we'll see how it turns out. So I'll get my butter and onions in there, and we'll get them in the oven. So see if I can do it right fast. 1, 2, well, boom, there we go, got them. And on the onions, it said cut them about a 1/2 inch thick. It said 3 of them, but you can see I couldn't fit the 3 in there. It's really 2.5. So just, I guess, depending on the size of your onions. It says 3 large, but if you get 3 large, you're not going to fit them in there, because it's a 13 by 9 by 2 inch little baking dish. So let me get these in the oven for 10 minutes, and I'll see y'all right back to mix this up to pour over the top. So I'll see y'all in a few. Alrighty y'all, we got about 3 minutes left on the onions to cook, so I figured I could go ahead and start mixing up the cornbread before they go on top. So it's going to be 3 of the boxes of the cornbread mix. Again, it said 8-ounce, and these are 8.5, but I think I'm going to be okay. If I can see when we go to pouring over the onions, if it's too much batter, we won't have to pour it all over. So go in with the 3 boxes. Got our 3 boxes in there, and then we'll go in there with our eggs here. So there's 3 eggs beaten up, and then we go in with 1 cup of whole milk. Then a cup of sour cream goes in. then our 1.5 cups of cheese, and then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now we'll just give this a mix. And there we go, got it mixed up. So that's got about 30 seconds left on it. So we'll get that out, pour it over it, and then back in the oven it goes. So see y'all in a few. Boom, there we go. So turn off our timer, get our hot pad so we don't burn our hands again. Here we go. Got that out, boy, it smells good, that butter and onion smell. Oh, it smells good. So get this poured over. We'll see how much we need. It may not take it all, but we'll see. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Got enough room. Wasn't sure. Get this spread over the top. Smells good. Then that corn, buttered corn's come through now. After getting that on there. So now we'll go back in the oven for 30 minutes here. That's what it said. So we'll see if it's done after 30, or I may check it periodically in between to make sure it's getting set through and not getting too done. So I'll see y'all back in 30 minutes. Alrighty, y'all, let's get it out of the oven. I checked it after 30 minutes with a toothpick and it came out clean. So this looks pretty good. And you can see I got it on a baking tray. I thought about that right when I put it in there. I was like, I better put it on a baking tray just in case it cooked over, but it didn't. It was fine, but just a little tip, just in case, I'd say put it on one just to cover you, just in case you boil over. So I'll pull you down so y'all can see. There you go. So looks pretty good. Got browned up good. It smells really good. Smells like corn, butter, and onions cooking in here. So I'm gonna let that cool for a little bit and then let it kind of get settled before I try to flip it over, because it says to flip it and be able to serve it that way. That way you can see the onion. So I'm gonna let it cool, cut away on the sides with a little knife to free it up just in case, and I'll see y'all back after it cools off. So I'll see y'all in a few. Well, alrighty, y'all, got it done here. I'll throw up some pictures of the screen of what it looks like. It looks pretty good, but the onions kind of moved around on me a little bit more than what I was expecting, and they didn't kind of stay stationary, and they kind of got displaced on the bottom more than what I was thinking they would do. But I mean, it looks pretty good. It came out with a pan pretty good, but I think I would have done, or would do the onions differently next time. I think I'd do them, the 3 onions like it says, but chopped up like in like about medium diced, and just cover the whole bottom with it, with the onions. That way you're gonna probably have onion coverage over everything. They probably won't displace over to one side or the other. But I mean, it looks pretty good. Definitely smells good. All you smell is onions, butter, and corn and cheese. So the onion looked like it got done there. It cut through pretty easy. So we'll see how it tastes. Still pretty hot, so yeah, there's steam coming off of it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Got that buttery corn taste. It kind of takes out some of the sweetness of that Jiffy with the cheese and sour cream and salt and all. And then that onion flavor is soaked into the cornbread as well. That's pretty good. I'll definitely do it different next time and not do the sliced onions. And I might instead keep the butter in the bottom, but chop up the onions, like I was saying, about medium diced, the 3 onions, and just put in the cornbread mix itself, and then cook it that way. That way you'd have onion throughout the whole cornbread. It'd take away a little bit from the presentation with flipping it over, but taste would be better mixed throughout it. But it's good. It definitely changes up the Jiffy enough where it's not near as sweet as what it usually is. That's good. Now I just need a hamburger steak with gravy and onions, and I'd be set. Good. So I say make it for sure. It's fun to try out, and it's good. I like it. Takes away from the sweetness of the Jiffy with all the cheese and salt, sour cream and stuff in there. It kind of cuts down the sweetness a bit. And then the onions kind of soak up and add in flavor, and that butter too. And I use salted butter. It didn't say to, but I'm a salted butter fan. It's just a richer butter flavor. But I would change it up next time. Still butter in the bottom, but I'd chop up my 3 onions about a medium dice and put in it. Like I said, it's going to take away from your presentation, but it's going to add to the flavor, and the flavor is where it's at over presentation. You can't, as Kim Rollins says, you can't get full on fancy or whatever. I think that's what he says. But anyways, I say that make this one. It was fun and good. So y'all like, share, and subscribe if you want to. If you haven't already, when you do, you're welcomed on into the Head to Tail family, and we'll love you and welcome on in. So thank y'all again. I'll catch y'all on the next one. One, 2, 3. Oh, you're not supposed to see that.